And joining me today is Jen Mascaro.
Hi. Devil's juice. Oh, that sounds like a bad decision. My relationship with my dad is not good. I was close with him growing up, but we recently had a pretty hard falling out.
Did you get picked on?
I did. I was bullied a lot. In fact, there's girls from high school that I won't even look at because they tortured me so bad in high school. There's 3 of them. In that first year, I got us into maybe $40,000 in credit card debt because I was still living the life of having a decent salary where I only made $26,000, I think, my first year. Yeah.
So how has building your team out helped you, and how has it made it more difficult for you?
So, and you and I talked about this before, you know, there's people out there, and they're probably watching, that hate me. Why do you hate me? You've never met me.
Oh, coming in hot. You're strong.
I don't even know if I want to say this out loud. All right, I'm going to say this out loud. So, it was supposed to be confidential, but apparently it got out that I did this, but...
Yeah, we're going to start. You ready?
Okay, good.
Welcome to the Barbells and Bourbon podcast, the podcast that allows real people to tell real stories. I'm your big, bald, bearded, barbell left and bourbon drinking son of a bitch, Shaun. And joining me today is Jen Mascaro.
Hi.
Pleasure to have you in our home.
I'm excited to be here.
You've been here before.
I have.
When were you here before?
I think it's been about 5 years, right?
And why were you here before?
I was here because I sold you this house.
Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy. It is crazy. And it looks completely different now.
Yes.
You guys did a great job here.
We just had it was actually 7 years. Yes.
Good grief.
2017. We had our 7-year house anniversary.
And you didn't invite me?
It wasn't like
a
we
part.
didn't no, we didn't throw a shindig.
Oh, okay.
That's what you would have done.
Yeah. Duh.
But no, I got reminded on Facebook that it was our 7-year.
Yeah, I do remember that scene. It was in my time hop. Yep.
So welcome back.
Thanks. Happy to be here.
How's your year been? How's 2024 been for you?
It's been good. So, I mean, with work, super busy, kids, super busy. My kids are in tons of activities, but it's been a pretty good year so far. We're leaving next week on vacation. This will be my first vacation. You know, I take a ton of vacations.
You take like one a month.
It's not one a month, but
one a quarter.
Every other month.
Ish.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, I work to go on vacation. That's what I do.
Hey,
I love
work hard, play hard,
going on
say.
vacations.
Well, you
Exactly.
deserve it. You do work hard.
We do. Yeah, I do.
So,
Yep.
and I know your husband, Joe, works hard.
He does too. Yep.
And you have 3.
3 kids. We have Hayden. He is 11. Aubrey is 8. And Austin is 7.
So you have a full-time job all the time between work and kids.
Yeah.
And you need to escape.
Yep.
I wish we could take
That's
more
why I'm here,
vacations.
because I heard that you had booze in here.
We have plenty of booze.
Although I don't know if I really drink any of this. Is there any margaritas in here?
Nope.
Wine?
That's a different podcast.
Oh, okay.
This is
invite-
bourbon.
Can I get invited back for that one?
What would the margarita podcast be called? Muscles and margaritas.
Margaritas.
Oh.
Let's do it.
Oh my God.
I'll be the first guest.
You could be the manager. Muscles and margaritas.
How about just the taste tester?
If anybody steals that, you're dead.
Yeah. Patent that.
So where are you from?
I'm from Plum. I've been here my entire life. Grew up here, graduated from here. I did move away for a couple years and then came back.
Where was away?
We moved to Baldwin.
Okay.
So my husband and I we were both working downtown, so we moved out to Baldwin, stayed there for 4 years, got pregnant, and decided that we couldn't be out there anymore because it's like the other side of the world. You have to go through 2 tunnels. Nobody ever came to visit us. We were super lonely out there. So we moved back. We sold our house and moved back.
Isn't it crazy how depending where you are in Pittsburgh or the outskirts can be like a different planet just because of the bridges and the tunnels and only 2-lane roads, and it's just if you're not from Pittsburgh, I know there's cities with worse traffic than we have. Yeah. But ours sucks.
Yeah.
Construction all the time.
Well, and we just wanted to be closer to work because we both work downtown and it just made sense. But
what does Joe do? I don't know if I ever
He works
asked.
for an auto glass company.
Okay.
Yeah. So his title is program manager. I don't know what he does. He's on the phone all day long though. So
What exactly do you do here, Joe?
he likes it.
That's all that matters.
And he's at home 3 days. He's at home 3 days and in the office 2 days.
hybrid.
So yeah, it's perfect.
That is perfect.
Yeah.
I was just talking to my last guest, Paige, which is going to be a future guest episode-wise.
That's the girl you said I would look like if I came here today.
Yes. The one with all the muscles.
Yeah, well, what happened?
I didn't promise it. I said maybe.
I got to work out, I guess.
Yeah, I was talking about I work from home, and it has its pros and cons.
Yeah.
Because being trapped in your house all day, every day can be tough.
Oh, yeah.
So the hybrid thing with half office, half home, that's ideal. I don't have an office to go to. My headquarters is in Arlington, Virginia.
Well, be glad, because then you can just be home all the time and not have to waste gas to drive somewhere.
I'm not commuting there.
No.
Although I did commute to Maryland and back today.
Oh, yeah.
And I did that to get that camera that's looking right at you.
That's perfect.
Yeah. So you're my
you can see my
first.
pores.
I'll try to do my best job of editing.
Can you put a filter on that?
So you're my first 2-camera guest. So
can't wait to see how it turns out.
it's going to be super cool.
Yeah.
But anyways, Jen, I know you're surrounded by booze and you've got to be thirsty. It's really warm in here.
It is.
There's so much equipment, but
It's warm.
does anything look interesting to you?
Everything's
Are you familiar with anything? Are they fake?
No, are they flavored?
Oh, flavored.
Yeah, are these fake bottles?
So there's a maple here. There's a
Devil's juice. Oh, that sounds like a bad decision.
It would be good for the show if you picked that one.
I want to try something that's a little flavored because I don't know
Okay.
if I like bourbon.
Okay, let's do. So Basil Hayden is a very popular bourbon, and they have different series of bourbons. This is their dark rye. It's finished in wine casks.
Sold. But
Yes.
there's no wine in it. Oh,
The tasting notes are caramel, molasses, oak, and spice.
let's try it.
You'll have to tell me if you sense any of that. That was a good one. I'm actually not a huge fan of Basil Hayden.
That's good. Good Lord.
Oops, I'm a heavy pourer.
Oh, yeah, that's a heavy pour, all right.
This is my favorite Basil Hayden offering.
Oh, that smells
What's it
good,
smell
though.
like?
Bad decisions.
Perfect.
That's what you were going for. Are we cheersing or are we just drinking?
Yes,
Oh,
I was getting
Sorry,
them.
I'm excited. Need to try this.
Cheers. Welcome back.
I'm scared. I think I'm going to come back for the margaritas, okay?
You don't like that? It's intense if you're not used to it.
I can feel it right here.
It's gonna stay there for a little while. I guess I did give you a little too much.
I'm going to keep going, though.
This is
not
If you
gonna
finish that, the end of this conversation is gonna be fun.
I'm going to need an Uber. Oh, Uber. Actually,
We'll see.
it took me 8 minutes to get here, so.
That's really, you could walk home. I mean,
Yeah.
You could.
I could, but I will not.
Can you imagine
No.
Plum people seeing Jen Mascaro walking home?
Walking home.
That would be a story.
In heels.
In
I do have heels
gold
on.
Heels.
I did just come from a listing appointment, so I don't wear heels to people's houses.
Well, Jen, I know you. I don't know a ton about you.
Okay.
So I want to get to know more about you. And I
Okay.
want the audience to get to know more about
Yeah.
you too.
Let's do
Because
it.
you're a popular figure in the community.
I'm known. I wouldn't say I'm
Yes.
popular. Some people
Well,
don't
yeah,
like me.
you're known. You do a lot for the community.
Yeah, I do.
Being a real estate agent, your face is everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Your face is on billboards.
Yep.
So you are known.
Yep.
Let's dig deep into the story of Jen. Take me
Okay.
back to your childhood.
Okay. So I grew up in Plum. Well, we actually grew up. We moved around a lot. I can't remember. Maybe 6 times we moved. I grew up. We didn't have a lot of money. My parents worked very hard. They owned their own businesses. They made sure we had the essentials, but we didn't do anything extra as a
Yeah.
family. Like we never were able to go on vacations. We weren't able to do. Weren't even able to play sports. We didn't.
Wow.
Me and my siblings didn't play sports because my parents couldn't afford it.
So you just survived.
Yeah, we survived, but they always made sure we were well taken care of, which was, that's the most important thing. But yeah, it was we went on one vacation, and it's funny because I love to travel. Like, that's my thing.
Yeah.
And I love taking my kids to travel because I want them to see the world. And my only vacation as a kid was to Ohio. We went to Cedar Point, and it's literally one of my favorite memories.
Yeah.
Like, I still remember what I was wearing when we took a picture by the lake. Like, it was like my best memory.
How old were you?
I think I was about, I want to say 11 or 12.
Okay. So you were 12 years old and took your first vacation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's a big deal.
Yep.
That's why you remember it.
So my grandmother lived up in Cook's Forest, so that was kind of always our vacation. We would go up there all the time, and we loved it because there was a river up there. We would go boat, we would kayak. My uncles would take us kayaking, and she had I think she had hundreds of acres up there. And we would just run around, and that was kind of our vacation. So like when we went on a real vacation, it was just like a memory I'll never forget, and that's why I like to travel. And I travel all the time. And
you said you like to take your kids. You probably want to give them the experiences that you never had to.
Correct. Right? I want them to just have the best childhood.
Do you think your kids appreciate the travel? Good.
I do.
I know certain ages it's like, because, we took, my now ex and I, we took our kids to Disney. Yeah. And I think our youngest at the time was maybe 4. Yeah. And it's just like, how much are you really remembering it for?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, years are older now, so they get to appreciate it a little bit more.
Yeah. When we I was worried. We went to Disney, not this past year, but the year before, and I was worried about Hayden because he was 10. And I'm like, he's not gonna like this.
I think he outgrew it.
He had the best time. He enjoyed it more than the other two. Yeah. Because there was a lot more for him to do, a lot more for him to ride, He's
tall enough to ride everything
exactly.
At that point. Yeah.
So like that was the best age. But I want to go back to Disney.
So you survived. You didn't have, your parents made the ends meet.
Yeah.
How was your relationship with your parents as a kid?
It was great.
Yeah.
I'm still very close with my mom. My mom is literally my best friend. I call her 3 or 4 times a day. She's at my house several times a week. She's watched my kids for the past, gosh, how long? I think she started when Hayden was 3, so probably 8 years.
So they're close.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they love their Grammy. They love them. And obviously my mother-in-law is around too, so.
Yeah.
My relationship with my dad is not good. I was close with him growing up, but we recently had a pretty hard falling out. You want to get into details about that?
I'm open to whatever you want to share.
Let me take a sip for that.
Yeah, take it. Yeah.
So my dad has a daughter to a previous marriage. Her and I have never really got along. We've always been on the outs. We were cordial for many years. And then just recently, 2 years ago, it was June of 2 years ago, Joe and I were going on vacation. The kids were at home with my mom. And my sister's daughter was there, and my little guy, my littlest one, he was 5 at the time. They were horsing around in the pool, and I guess he put a toy on his butt and threw it at my niece, my dad's other daughter, her daughter.
So he touched the toy to his butt. He
sat on it or something, and then he threw it at her.
Got it.
And I didn't know anything I didn't know it happened. I went on vacation, we came home, a couple weeks go by, and then my dad calls me, and he starts kind of yelling at me. My dad's never really yelled at me. And he said, I never say anything to you about your kids. And the 2 things I say to you have to do with sexual assault, and you do nothing about it. And I was like, what? That's a big word, and that could ruin a boy's life. Yeah. Ruin his life. Yeah. So I was very taken back by that, and I was like, what are you talking about? And he told me the story of what happened with, my son and her daughter. And I said, Dad, you're telling me this 3 weeks later? I can't address this with a 5-year-old now. I mean, I can, I did.
Did he witness it? Or is
no, nobody witnessed it.
Okay.
Nobody witnessed it except my son and then her daughter.
Got it.
My mom was in the house, so she was watching them through the window because I have a huge window that overlooks my pool, and it was a hot day, and she was just hanging out, inside. But
so the only witnesses are 5 years old.
5, yeah, okay. 5 years old. And since that day, he has not spoken to me. It hurts. But at the same time, I can't force somebody to, apologize or admit they were wrong, because that was not sexual assault.
Yeah, that's a bold accusation.
Yeah.
To give anybody.
And to say that about your grandson. Yep. Your 5-year-old grandson. And sadly, my grandson, or his grandson knows, my son knows that, he was, accused of that.
How does he feel about being accused? Does he get it?
He does a little bit. He understands that I'm not speaking to my father because it had something to do with him. And it wasn't that we went and told him. We had the conversation with him like, hey, what happened? And his story did not match up to the other story. Mm-hmm. So, and there's no other witnesses. But he understands that that Pap isn't talking to us.
Does he feel like it's his fault because he caused you to not talk? A little bit,
okay. Yeah.
That sucks.
But he still loves his Pap. I mean, that's still their Pap. It'll always be their Pap. And they go over sometimes. I think the hardest part of it all was when my dad probably... When was it? So we've been in our house for 3 years. So about 5 years ago, we had a little scare where they thought my dad had lung cancer. My dad's a smoker. He's been a smoker his entire life. And my parents, like I said, my parents don't have a lot. They have their home. They don't have any other assets. Mm-hmm. So when he had that scare, I immediately got an attorney. I paid for that attorney to write them up a will, a power of attorney, so that they were taken care of should something happen to my dad. Right. I paid for that. And 3 weeks ago, I saw, do you have the app on your phone where you can see what mail's coming to you?
Yeah, okay. Like UPS and yeah. Yep.
So I see that there's a certified letter coming from my dad. So I called my mom and I said, what is he sending me? So she went and asked him and he said, I'm sending her a letter. I removed her from my will. My dad removed me from his will that I paid for him because he wanted to accuse my son of something because of his other daughter. So he's always kind of like favored her over, me, or I don't even want to say over my brothers, but over me. He's always favored her. It's weird. It's bizarre. And her and my mom don't have a good relationship, and I don't like the way that she treats my mom. So that's kind of why I distance myself from her a little bit. But then, when all those accusations came, that's
a game changer.
Yeah. Don't do that to my kids.
How does your mom feel about this whole thing? Do you know? Do you talk to her about it?
I do. My mom's going through a lot with, that stuff too. Yeah. We don't hang out. We don't get together for holidays anymore. It's just kind of me and my kids, and then they all kind of get together. But that's okay. I have my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law, and I have my husband's side of the family, and we hang out with them for holidays. But honestly, now we're trying to travel during the holidays just to get away different. And not. Yep. Yeah. So like for the 4th of July, we're taking my mom to Anna Marie Island to get her away and get a little vacation, another vacation. But
add it to the list. So, I mean, that sucks, Jen, that you're dealing with that with your dad.
Yeah. And I posted a little bit about it on Facebook, and I was like kind of vague about it. But when he sent me that letter in the mail, I was like, just put it all out there. Yeah. I mean, what do I have to hide? I didn't do anything. And I can admit when I'm wrong, and I will call you and I will apologize, and I will do whatever I need to do to mend any relationship. But I did nothing here. And I wholeheartedly believe that, and I don't believe that I owe anybody an apology.
So do you think that's all he's looking for is an apology?
No, I think he's just super stubborn and doesn't want to admit that he was wrong.
So the conflict here is him and your half-sister, mm-hmm. right? That's kind of like what's getting in the way.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with your son. Mm-mm. Or your half-sister's daughter, which would be your niece.
Yeah.
Huh. Mm-hmm. So he's favoring her, you think?
He always has.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah. Yeah. And I it is what it is.
Have you ever talked to him about that relationship?
No.
No? Mm-mm. Do you think it's worth it, or?
I don't know.
How do you think he would, if you confronted him and said?
I did confront him.
Okay.
I went to his house and I confronted him when he the day that the letter was supposed to come. I never got the letter. I never signed for it. So I don't know what the letter truly said, but that's what he told my mom that it said. So it might have said something completely different, and I don't really know what else it would have said. But that day I went over there and I tried to confront him, and he left. He didn't want to talk to me. So
does he know that you feel like you're not his favorite?
I think he knows.
Yeah.
I mean, he favors my sister over my brothers. So. But my brothers are neutral. They try not to pick sides. They just kind of do their own
Go with the
thing.
flow.
And I mean, I have a relationship with them, and we're fine. So
Good.
it is what it is. Life goes on. Listen, if you don't want to be in my kids' lives or my life, I am totally okay with that. Totally okay with that.
Just make room for someone else, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
It's tough when it's like blood.
When it's blood. Exactly. Yeah. And it's, a couple of my friends have lost their dad recently, and it made me sad. It's like, if my dad dies, am I going to be sad? How am I going to feel if something happens to him? Because he's not in the best of health. But at the same time, he accused my son of something heinous, something that I could never accuse somebody of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but Jen, he's still your dad.
Correct.
So,
I understand. Yeah, I know.
Hopefully you guys can smooth things over and let
Yeah.
bygones be good bygones
Yeah.
eventually. But
Let's talk about something more exciting.
yeah.
Like this bourbon.
What do you think of it? Huh?
Honestly, it's like, I feel like this is an acquired taste. Like, I'm starting to like it.
Another one bites the dust. Yeah, I had a guest on. He went bourbon shopping after the episode. I do not condone or promote drinking of alcohol.
Nope, me either.
Whatever happens after this is on you.
So did you bought all of this just to put on display? Do you sit up here and drink this alone sometimes?
No, that would be sad. Actually, no. I don't sit here in the dark and drink. if that's what you're asking, that would be a problem that would need addressed by a therapist. No, like if I'm editing or something, I'll sip on, some bourbon or.
Yeah.
But
My husband's a big bourbon fan. I don't know.
well, you just said you're acquiring a taste,
Yeah,
so
it's
so yeah. So
starting to
maybe
like
you'll step outside your comfort zone. All right, childhood, family vacation.
yeah.
How was high school and middle school for you?
Ugh. I wasn't the cool kid. I'll tell you that much. I was not one of the cool kids. I didn't date any boys. Boys didn't like me. I was a tomboy.
That's what you were saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I showed you some pictures of me from high school, you would probably be really surprised.
Wouldn't recognize you?
No.
Yeah.
No, and I have them.
So
I'll show them to you.
Did you get picked on?
I did. I was bullied a lot. In fact, there's girls from high school that I won't even look at because they tortured me so bad in high school. There's 3 of them. I will not name them, but nope, awful people.
Did getting bullied make you retaliate? Did that make you angry? Did you bully back? Like, how did you handle that?
No, you know what? It just made me hate school, honestly. And I never wanted to go. And my parents worked a ton, like I told you. So they were at work when we would get up for school. I mean, obviously, this is like high school, not elementary school. I wasn't in kindergarten getting ready by myself or anything. But they would be gone before we would get up, or they would leave, shortly after we would leave. So sometimes I would hide in my closet and wait for them to leave. And then I'd just go back to bed. Because I didn't want to go to school. I hated it. Absolutely hated school.
Is that mainly because you were getting picked on?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just was not, it was terrible. And I didn't like studying and stuff.
I mean, who really likes school, right? Yeah. It's either it just came easy and you just got through it, or you hate it. I don't think anyone's like, although my daughter Zoe, she does so good at it. And I think she likes applying herself.
Yeah.
But I think that's rare. Yeah, most kids are just like, no. But anyway,
it's boring.
When did you blossom from tomboy Jen?
Probably right after, maybe my senior year of high school. I mean, that was like kind of when I got my first boy. I was a little bit older when I got my first boyfriend, maybe like 16, and he was from another school. He was from Woodland Hills, and then I started dating his friend from Woodland Hills. So I think kind of after that, I started to change my appearance a little bit and actually care if I looked like, girl.
Did you play sports or anything?
I did nothing.
Okay.
No.
You did nothing.
Nothing.
The bare minimum.
I worked. So my parents owned a pizza shop and a bakery. And I started working at 11 years old. I have held a job since I was 11 years old, sometimes 3 jobs at a time.
Wow.
I just like working and I like making money, and yeah.
We all do.
Yeah.
I mean,
even in college, so I went to Slippery Rock. I drove there from Plum because I wanted to work. I didn't want to live there. I wanted to drive back and forth and work. I worked for Panera forever. I worked for Panera for 7 years.
wow.
I was a manager there. Yeah.
So did you went to college? What did you
I went
go to
Slippery
college
Rock.
for?
Public relations and communications. So I do have a degree. I don't use it
Did you ever?
because I'm in sales.
So when you graduated college, you didn't
No.
fall into a career that.
Nope. But I feel like public relations and communications helps in
It's
any
pretty broad.
yeah,
Yeah.
in any
It's like engineering.
industry.
I have an engineering degree. That's such a broad field. I
Yeah.
could be doing anything.
yeah,
You know, I don't use my degree.
right.
You don't use your degree.
But I think it's good to have it.
Oh yeah, it opens doors.
Yeah, and it's if the real estate industry tanks, I have something to fall back on.
Yeah.
So hopefully that never happens.
When did you get into real estate then?
So I got into real estate in November of 14. So you know a little bit about my kids. So I have 3 kids. 2 of them are hard of hearing. So Hayden is my oldest. He's 11. He was born with sensorineural hearing loss. So he wears hearing aids. And then Aubrey, my 8-year-old, wears hearing aids. So I got into real estate because of those 2. I just needed something flexible. I couldn't do the corporate America thing.
Got it.
We were dropping those kids off at 6:15 at the babysitters and picking them up at 6:15 a.m. and picking them up at 5 p.m. It was terrible. So
that was the first time you dabbled in real estate. You
Yeah.
knew nothing about it. You just needed something flexible.
yeah, and my friend's mom, she kept saying, and she's still at the same company I'm at, she just kept saying, you really need to try real estate. You really need to try real estate. And I'm like, I don't know. I can't do the 100% commission thing. So I actually started thinking about it. I was working for an energy company and I was supporting the salespeople. And it was, like the water cooler talk, the drama, the constant gossiping. It wasn't for me. And I did that for 7 years. And then finally in 14, I quit after Hayden was born. And,
Yeah.
he had the hearing loss because he had speech therapy. He had early intervention. He had, I don't even remember what else he had, but it was constant appointments because we didn't know how bad it was at the time. And we just kind of wanted to stay ahead of everything just to make sure he was learning and growing at the pace that he should be, at that age. So, yeah.
So did you work for an agency in 2014?
Yes, I joined Coldwell Banker in 2014, November 2014. It was slow. It was a very slow couple years. It's tough to get started in real estate.
Real estate is such an interesting field for me. I know so many real estate agents. It feels like it's like this. I don't know how to describe it, but it's like a mystery.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. There's so much competition.
There is. So I was actually just looking in the West Penn multi-list today. There's 3,109 agents in the West Penn multi-list, which is wild.
Jeez.
Wild. But I think things are going to get shaken up here.
So you said it was slow.
Yep.
Why? Why is it slow? Just because of the market?
You mean slow right now?
No. When you said you started out
When
a
I
few
started
years,
out, yeah. It was because I wasn't established.
Okay.
But I was aggressive. And it's funny because I was just sitting with one of my I just brought on a new girl, which I'll be announcing that soon. I just brought her onto my team and she was with me at my house before I came here. And we were talking a little bit about, how I became successful in real estate. And she was like, but what should I do? And I was like, honestly, every Saturday and Sunday I had an open house, 2 open houses. I did 4 open houses a weekend, 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday. And I did that for a solid year and I wouldn't stop. And I just kept going because I had to. My family was depending on me. I quit my job with a guaranteed salary to do a 100% commission-based job. I had to do what I had to do to make it work. And my husband, God bless him, he's you know him. He's
He is an amazing
patient
man.
He's just literally the best. And he believed in me, and he said, just do what you need to do. And it took a good 2 years. I mean, that first year, I got us into maybe $40,000 in credit card debt because I was still living the life of having a decent salary where I only made $26,000, I think, my first year.
And that's straight commission.
100% commission.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you had to... We should have adjusted your lifestyle, but you really didn't.
No, because I like to travel.
Who wants to do that?
And buy clothes and stuff.
Yeah. Typical Barbie. So it was slow. What does it take to make a good real estate agent?
That's a good question. But I mean, for me, patience. And I truly try to go above and beyond for all of my clients. And my team, they're always like, why are you doing that? Like, you're doing too much. But I want those people to do the least amount as possible so that they hey, listen, I listed my house. I literally didn't have to do anything. Jen took care of everything. Call her. I want people to refer me. And my business is all referral base. Yeah. All referral base.
That's the best type of business, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
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 Because I know when we bought this house from you, not from you, but with your help.
I don't even remember how we got connected.
I literally Googled real estate agents in Plum.
Okay.
And I was thrown a list of, 10 results. And I just started, I think, calling or texting them.
Yeah.
I don't make phone calls. I hate talking on the phone.
And I replied right away.
You were the first one to respond.
That's right. I remember you saying.
That's why you got the deal.
Yep.
You were the first one to respond. You showed us a few houses.
I remember the first house I showed you.
The one next to the cemetery. Yep. Or the funeral
dentist
home.
office. No, it was the one next to the dentist office.
Yeah, which is...
Next to the funeral.
Next to the funeral home.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. That was the first one that you showed us. And yeah, that's why you got our business, because you replied immediately.
Yep, I remember that.
I was like, all right. But yes.
And it's so weird. I remember so distinctly, and I don't know why I remember this, but I was drinking a protein shake, and Maria made a comment about it.
Yeah. Yeah, you were waiting outside the front door with a shaker cup.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, all right, this is our agent.
And listen, I work
Guy probably had one in the car.
I sell 120 houses a year, and I don't remember half of them. But for some reason, I remember that, and I don't know why.
Well, it was pretty early in your career, right?
It was 7 years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about 2.5 years into it.
So, yeah, you were new.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you made it very easy for us.
Yeah.
And I remember I was in Mammoth, California. The December, January before we bought that house. Mm-hmm. We closed in March of 2017. I was in Mammoth December, January.
Yes.
Of that same year. I bought the house while I was in California.
Right.
Like, that's where the offer was accepted. Mm-hmm. I'm sitting in a chalet in Mammoth.
Yeah, because we did everything electronically.
It was all electronically.
Yeah.
But I was there for work with a colleague. We got 10 feet of snow while we were there.
I remember this.
And I'm chilling in the chalet, closing on a house.
Yep.
And I was like, my colleague was Mike. I was like, hey, Mike, just bought a house. It was so weird. He's like, cool, buddy.
On the other side of the U.S.
On the other side of the country. But yeah, that's a fond memory of mine. And Mike reminds me of that. You know, we keep in touch. He's like, hey, remember when you bought the house when we were in California?
So you're not with that company anymore?
No.
Oh, okay.
It was 2 companies ago.
Oh. Yeah, I do remember you traveling all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a cool memory.
Yeah.
But you made it very easy for us.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
And I remember I was in a really shitty situation at that time. I was living with my parents, going through a divorce. Yep. I already had a mortgage on my marital home. Mm-hmm. And I was trying to do the rent-to-own program through, I can't remember what the program was.
Yep, I know.
But it was like $2,000 a month for the first 3 years. And then, but this house was not applicable because there's a pool. Yep. And that's an insurance risk.
Yep.
So you pulled some magic, and you got us a hold of one of your brokers, Jen Mascaro. Yep. And I'm like, I already have a mortgage. There's no way I'm getting approved for another mortgage. And I had worked real hard to rebuild my credit, and I got freaking approved. Yep. I was like in tears.
And it was literally for the amount of this house.
Yeah.
It was like perfect.
In tears.
Yep.
And this house changed my life and Maria's life.
That's awesome.
And you were part of it. So
I know. And I still remember do you remember the decorations when you guys bought it?
we walked in.
It was like a zoo or
this
something.
Is our house.
Remember she had like zebra print stuff this room. This room had a bunch
this
of...
was just like a
dressing
shoe
room.
storage.
Don't you remember there was like a zebra thing on the wall?
Yeah.
I don't know why I remember this
So
stuff.
Tom and Kim, the ones who owned this house before us, they did...
Her decorations were
It was
pretty cool.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
She did an amazing job
Yeah.
with it. So we walked in and we looked at each other, we're like, this is our house.
Yeah. You know, when you walk into a house, you know it's yours.
But-
Yeah. That's the best.
Anyways, so you've come a long way
Yeah.
in the real estate business.
Yep.
Now you have a full team.
Yep.
How many do you have working under you?
So there's... Don't say working under me, working with
Working
me.
with you, partnerships.
My girls are my partners. Yes. There is 7 of us total.
Okay.
Yeah, I just brought on a new girl. Her name's Mackenzie. She's cute as a button. I met her through my friend Carrie. She works at Eddie V's, which is my favorite restaurant. But I was with her all day today, kind of training her a little bit. But yeah, there's 7 of us. I'm obviously the team lead. And then I have Melissa. I think you've met Melissa before, Melissa Kirk. So Melissa,
I recognize the name.
Yeah, so she was my personal assistant. She was my personal assistant for 5 years. And she recently stepped into a new role. She kind of wanted to sell more, and she couldn't sell more with my workload. It's just too much. Yeah. So she stepped into the new role. She's doing amazing. And then I have Alexis. I think you've met Alexis before too. She's my transaction coordinator. So she takes all of my files from signing to closing. And then we have Alicia, Mackenzie, Robin, and Dana.
Wow.
Those are all my full-time agents. Yeah.
So how has building your team out helped you, and how has it made it more difficult for you?
So I don't think the girls make my life difficult because I literally have my team is so easygoing. We get along so well. There's no drama on my team. And that's why I kind of keep a small team because I don't want to deal with any of the BS outside of, our little group. But I'm on call all the time. Yeah. Not only for my clients, but my team. And I have to drop what I'm doing to make sure they're taken care of. And I always make sure they're taken care of. And I'm very focused on just keeping in compliance. The real estate changes all the time. The forms change all the time. Our contracts are 14 pages. And I will literally lay there at night and just read through. And if I don't know a word, I'll Google it. I want to make sure that I'm always on top of everything when it comes to real estate. So the difficult part is just kind of being on call all the time with them. As far as making it easy, they just make my life better because they're just in it, Yeah. And I get to talk to these people every day, and they're part of my team, and they trust me. They all love me. I think they all love me.
I haven't talked to them.
Could you find out?
I'll get the scoop for you. I'll have them all on, and they can confess.
I think they'll love me, but yeah, we just have a really good dynamic. And I love my team. I really do.
Do you ever have a hard time mixing business with friendships? Do you have a hard time not crossing over that?
Yeah. So for the most part, Dana and Alexis were 2 of my very good friends growing up, and now they're on my team. So it's hard to reprimand them. Not that I ever have to, but if something would come up and I would have to, it'd probably be kind of uncomfortable. I don't know. I mean, we have had some instances where something happened on my team, and somebody would get fired. I don't want to say fired, but a client would go rogue and find a new agent or whatever. And we had to address it. And it is awkward, but my girls they're all really good agents. Good. So
they try to keep it as professional as possible.
Yeah. So it's not, yeah.
Good. Because they say never get into business with family, and being in business with friends can be difficult too.
Yeah.
Because I think as the lead of that team, maybe they kind of take advantage of you sometimes because you're friends, but and maybe sometimes they expect special treatment because you're friends.
Yeah.
So that's why I asked if there was any downsides.
Yeah.
And I wasn't alluding to them being a burden, but.
Oh, yeah, no. And I think, some people might think that I would favor one over the other, but I truly don't.
Good.
If one of them is converting leads, they're going to get more leads than the other one. I don't care if you're my best friend or not. You're going to get the leads if you're converting them because that's bringing more money to the team. But yeah, we have a great team.
Good. So you're riding solo for a long time.
Yeah.
What have you learned about yourself since building out your own team?
That's a loaded question.
I'm here for it.
I don't even know how to answer that. What have I learned about myself? I don't know. I don't have a lot of patience.
Okay.
But that's with anybody.
Because I think, when you're doing it on your own, you have control of everything.
I do, yeah. Yeah.
And then when you have a team, you have to relinquish that control to other people.
And you got to hope that those people are going to treat those clients like you would. But honestly, I train them to just be the best that they can be and not be one of those agents that puts a listing in the MLS and never talks to the seller again.
So they have to meet a high standard for you.
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Good.
Yeah. And I wasn't, we lost Lori. Lori's the sweetest thing ever. She stepped down. Her husband has cancer. So she just left the team and put her license in referral. And I wasn't looking to bring anybody else on. And then I found Mackenzie. And she just has like the best personality. Yeah. And she's 25. She's young. She lives out in Butler County. And I don't want to go out there. So I brought her on so that when I get leads out there, I can just send them to her. Because it's too far for me.
That's an hour drive.
It's an hour.
So what's your territory?
Plum.
Okay.
Most of my houses I sell in Plum. Last year I sold $6 million in Plum alone, and the next person below me sold $2 million. So I saturate Plum. But I started this job to be with my kids. Like I told you earlier, it was because of their hearing loss and their time constraints that I started this business. So I want to be where I live. I don't want to drive to Butler County or Washington County.
How do you think other agents in the area, do you think they respect you, or do you think they're like, that bitch is taking all the business?
Probably 50-50.
Yeah.
Most agents are collaborative and friendly, and then you have some that aren't so much.
Yeah.
But listen, I'm not going to be everybody's favorite. Somebody else isn't going to be my favorite. It's okay.
At the end of the day, it's business, right?
It's business, yeah.
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 And I'm sure there's going to be hard feelings,
but
no matter what.
And I spend a ton of money to be in this. I mean, I advertise with everything,
right.
And I volunteer for everything, and I'm in the community constantly.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't scroll Facebook for, 3 minutes without seeing something some event that you're at, or a fundraiser or something.
Yeah.
So in a good way.
I fundraise a lot. Yeah.
Good.
And I do it because I like making people feel good. Like I want to just, and I don't do anything for recognition. Like, I don't even know if I want to say this out loud. All right. I'm going to say this out loud. So it was supposed to be confidential, but apparently it got out that I did this. But in the school, they did a thing where you sent hugs and kisses at Valentine's Day. And I was always the kid that never got anything sent to me because, one, my parents were working, or I didn't bring the paper home, or whatever. So I'm seeing this paper come home with my kids, like, send hugs and kisses to your kids. And I'm like, but what about the kids that aren't going to get a hug and kiss? And I was a little bit vocal about it on Facebook, which I think is why it came out that it was me. I contacted the PTO and I bought a hug and kiss for every kid at O Block.
Wow.
Because I didn't want anybody to be left out. I didn't do it because I wanted any type of credit. In fact, I asked to be left anonymous. Anonymous. And they did. The PTO was good about it. They put it out. They said, hey, this is from an anonymous donor. But then it got out that it was me. The principal asked me about it. And then my friends were like, this has to be you. You're the only one that complains. But listen, if I'm going to complain, I'm going to do something about it. I'm not going to complain just to complain and then not try to fix it.
Yeah.
I do that all the time.
Well, it's out of the bag now, Jen. You gave all the kids a hug and a kiss.
It was me. Everybody got a hug and a kiss from me, but
yeah, I mean,
I hugged and kissed all of your kids.
Sexual assault. Sorry.
Too soon.
Yeah, way too soon.
But yes, I fundraised for a lot. Last night we were at an event for LLS. My girlfriend's daughter, Maddie D'Antonio, she's a Plum High School. She was one of the student visionaries. So they called me and said, "Hey, can you help her fundraise?" And I'm sure.
Yeah.
Where do we start? And I'm aggressive though, so I think they were a little overwhelmed at first. But I was like, let's go. If you guys want to make this money, we have to go. So I helped her raise about $16,000. She raised $30,000 total, which is great for a high school kid.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
But the kid that raised the most raised, I think it was $169,000. Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
A high school kid.
Wow.
But I love that stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a good story.
Yeah.
We need more good stories in this society, don't we?
Yeah.
What is the most memorable deal that you've had in your real estate career? Good memory.
Good memory? Okay. So we were supposed to close. It was a couple. Oh, they were just so cute. We were supposed to close at 10 o'clock one day. Okay. And she was pregnant. So I'm getting ready to go to the closing. It's like 7 o'clock in the morning, maybe, get my kids off to school, getting ready. And she texts me and she said, "I can't close today. I'm in labor." And I was like, "Oh my God, your rate lock is expiring today. It's going to cost you a fortune." They were was it VA buyers? I can't remember. But it's going to cost you a few $100 to extend this. So her husband calls me at I don't even know, maybe 11. And he's like, "The baby's here." And I was like, "Well, what do you guys want to do? How far do we want to push this back?" And he was like, "Can you just come here?" And I was like, "To the hospital?" And he said, "Yeah." I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely." And this was during COVID. So I went with the title company. We went down to West Penn Hospital and she had a baby at 11 a.m. and we signed her. She bought a house at 3 o'clock.
Oh my God. That trumps my buying a house in a chalet in Mammoth, California story.
I love it.
That's crazy.
And I still keep it. I love them. I still keep in touch with them. And it's my favorite story.
Okay. What's the worst?
I have too many.
You don't have to name names.
So the sad thing of real estate is divorces really totally keep us in business. And there's been some volatile divorces. Lots of tears at the closing table. There's not any one in particular that I think is just the worst. But
so
divorces,
both spouses are there and it's just very awkward.
Yeah. Or unexpected deaths, I had a widow, a young widow, lost her husband at 30. I think he was 32. Stuff like that. I can't. It's sad. Yeah. Tears at the closing table are the worst. But it happens a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Give me a ballpark. Biggest commission you ever got on a deal. You don't have to give me to the dollar. Just give me ballpark.
Let me think about this. What do you mean a ballpark?
Within $10,000.
Oh, I mean, so 28,000. One house.
Wow.
That's a big one.
That's a nice check.
Yeah.
So you're still 100% commission?
I am. But you know what, Shaun? I work so much. A lot of people think real estate agents make so much money. They don't have to do shit except write a contract and open a door. That's not even close to what I do.
Yeah. If
you would talk to my husband and he would actually tell you what I do, I cry a lot. A lot. I mean, it's hard. And you're dealing with people who are selling their biggest asset.
Yeah.
There's a lot of emotions that go into it. People treat us like crap. And then there's people that treat us like family. I mean, I have people that still send me Christmas cards that I have sold them a house 10 years ago, when I first started. They liked me.
Yeah.
But I work a ton. I really, truly do. And everything I have because of me. I did this myself. Nobody helped me to get here.
That feels good, right?
Yeah. And you and I talked about this before. You know, there's people out there, and they're probably watching, that hate me. Why do you hate me? You've never met me.
I think
You've
it's
never
jealousy,
talked
Jen.
to me.
I think it's jealousy.
Yeah.
And I think that's why a lot of people have ill feelings towards others, is just out
Yeah.
of sheer jealousy. Because a lot of people don't want to work for success anymore.
Yeah.
They expect it to be handed to them.
Yep.
They don't take accountability for their failures. And when they see someone succeeding like you, I mean, I'm jealous of your success, not in a bad way, but I'm just like, holy shit, like, you've made it.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree.
So I think that's where a lot of that,
Yeah.
I don't, hatred's a harsh word. Maybe some of it is hatred, but I think a lot of it is just jealousy.
And I try to block it out. I really do. But my friend Jen, she's running for state senate. Her
Jen
name
Dantini.
Jen Dantini. Jen for Sen. Vote for her. So she said to me the other day, we were just like kind of chatting, and I was just like talking. I can't even remember who it was about, but I was just like, yeah, she doesn't like me. And she was like, yeah, one of my friends was like, oh, you're friends with Jen Mascaro now. And she said to her, like, do you even know her? And the girl was like, no, I never met her. I'm just friends with her on Facebook. Why are you friends with me on Facebook if you don't like me? Just delete me.
Yeah.
It's that simple. You don't have to watch my stories. You don't have to. Listen, all I post is my kids. I barely even post work stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Girls are the worst, though, Jen.
They are. Oh.
I mean, no offense. But I mean,
no offense to all you girls out there.
But they are. It's
I know.
It's like a constant competition with you guys.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be that way.
I don't hate anybody. And I will do anything for anybody. Literally. Call me up. I'll do anything. And that's kind of what you're saying. Women are definitely worse than men. And I try to tell my daughter that it is none of your business what anybody thinks of you.
Yeah.
Don't worry about anybody else's opinion.
You're never going to please everybody, and you will die exhausted if you try.
Exactly. And sometimes it does get to me sometimes. I mean, I've had screenshots sent to me of stuff people have said about me, and it does hurt. I'm a human being. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. It hurts.
Yeah. I think that's one of the downsides of being in the public eye as much as you are too.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, if you're exposed more, you're going to get attacked more.
Yeah. I agree with that too.
I don't know why that has to be that way.
No.
But
the people that know me know me.
Yeah.
And my heart I have good intentions, and I'm constantly fundraising. I'm constantly helping people. I'm constantly volunteering. And those people who are sitting there hating me for no reason are just sitting behind their keyboards, hating.
Internet warriors.
Hating everybody.
Yeah.
Hey,
social media is such a toxic place to live in, isn't it?
I hate it. It's the worst.
So you'd mentioned that you work your ass off, and I know you do because I was trying to communicate with you to set this up.
Sorry.
And yeah, it's like you just drop off the face of the earth sometimes.
Yeah.
But I get it. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't like, oh, she's ignoring me.
No, you were good. Yeah.
She's ghosting me. You're just really busy.
Yeah.
So I have to bump our conversation every once in a while. Like,
yeah. Hey, remember me?
Yeah. I get it. I do that a lot too. I juggle a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And it happens.
Yeah.
Oh, let's arm wrestle. Do you want another sip?
No, but oh my God.
It's fine. After arm wrestling, you're going to look like Paige.
I don't know. I'm really strong. Do you really want me to embarrass you in front of all these people?
No. I have a reputation to uphold.
Wait, have you won every single one?
Yeah.
That's bullshit. Get Marie up here.
But I have some big boys coming on. I don't think I'm going to win every one.
You lose one, especially if you're going to win this one.
All right, hold on, I'm going to ask you
I need a drink.
A question while we do this, while you're under duress.
I got to stand up.
Your nails are too nice.
These are my vacation nails.
I'm going to break one. All right, you start whenever you want. Oh, coming in hot. You're strong. What? Do you have any regrets in life, Jen?
Arm wrestling.
Dude, do you have? All right, we're good. You gave it a really good effort. You came in really hot.
I need somebody. I want to arm wrestle those girls in the ad with me. I'm just kidding. They'll crush me.
You did good. I did not see that coming. Do you have any regrets other than arm wrestling me?
Regrets in life?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think I'm pretty happy.
You're content with all of your life choices.
I have a great husband. I have great kids. I have a great career. I think I'm doing okay.
And everything that you do in life leads you to another intersection, right? Mm-hmm. I've had some guests say that they have regrets, and others are like, no, I wouldn't change a thing because I'm sitting here now. I'm happy now.
Yep.
All of the choices I made brought me to this point. So,
Yep. No regrets from me.
Do you want to make a public service announcement about anything?
If you're looking to buy or sell a house.
Seriously, keep going.
I mean, that's my livelihood. That's how I make money. That's how I go on vacations.
Yeah, I'm going to be tagging things and linking. Go ahead. This is your stage.
No, that's it. If you want to buy or sell a house, I am your girl. Actually, my team. There's 7 of us, so have your pick. We're all amazing.
Are you involved in the Pickens or Pickett?
Pickett.
My God, no.
Hella no.
No?
No.
Who else put theirs on?
Trubinsky. Yeah.
Poor Steelers quarterbacks. They're all getting the boot.
Yeah, but so apparently the house that Pickett is selling, he never lived in, I guess? I don't know. I'm confused.
Was that his guest house?
I have no idea.
I wonder what happened in that house. There could be some juicy stuff coming out.
Just a whole bunch of live-in furniture.
All right. Any questions for me?
No.
Is there anything you didn't get off your chest that you want to get off your chest?
Let's talk about the new commission structure with real estate.
Let's talk about that.
Because it's pissing me off.
Well, let's hear it. Vent.
It is pissing me off. The media has twisted this so bad. This lawsuit that's happening was brought on by attorneys who are making 33%, and they're fighting with us because we split 6%. It was brought on by a bunch of greedy attorneys. They won. Now our sellers, well, okay, let me rephrase this a little bit so that I don't piss any agents off. But essentially, the MLS is not allowed to advertise what the buyer agency compensation is anymore. So essentially, a seller does not have to offer a buyer agency commission anymore, where before they were required to. Technically, they didn't have to, but whatever. But now all these sellers think that they're going to sell their house for 2 or 3%, which in reality, yeah, they could. But if you're not offering a buyer agency commission, the likelihood of a buyer being able to see that house or an agent wanting to show that house is going to be pretty low.
Yeah.
And that's because most buyers can't afford to pay all of their closing costs and a buyer agency commission. I think what's going to happen is a lot of these buyers are going to go unrepresented, and we're going to see so many lawsuits. It's not going to be good. Could you imagine buying your house without an agent?
No, I don't know. I wouldn't know where to start.
Yeah.
Multiple page contracts with all these words that I don't know the meaning of. You're signing your life away without any knowledge of what the repercussions are.
You need representation, period. End of story. I would never.
So what's that going to do to you, your team, and the other agents?
I don't think it's going to change a ton. Luckily for me, I don't work with a whole lot of buyers just because I like to give those leads to my team. I kind of concentrate on my listings, which is why I list a lot. I do think it's going to thin out the real estate agent pool out there. There's a lot of buyer agents that may not be able to survive if these sellers aren't willing to pay the commissions. I think we'll see a lot of discount agents out there. It's just, you get what you pay for, though. I want people to realize that you get what you pay for. And if you have a good agent on your side negotiating for you, you're going to save a lot of money.
Do you think it's going to do anything to the market?
It's not going to do anything to the market. I keep seeing headlines. It's going to reduce home sale prices. It is not. It absolutely will not. There's no way.
Yeah, I don't know why or how it would.
No, there's no way. But let them just keep putting those headlines out. It's a lot of clickbait.
Wow. Well, you got really hot all of a sudden there. That's a sore subject for you.
Yeah, I'm not happy about it. I mean, I don't know. I'm not. But
Is there any way to fight it, or is it the decision's made?
The decision's made. Well, I read yesterday that a judge still has to sign off on it, but I'm pretty sure it's a done deal. July that'll happen. But I think it's in a seller's best interest to offer a buyer agency commission to keep getting those multiple offers and getting those people to look at your house.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to be just agents saying, oh, I'm not going to show them this because there's no buyer agency commission. It's going to be buyers saying, I cannot see any houses that are not offering a buyer agency commission because I cannot afford to pay you. Period. And it's really going to hurt our veterans because our veterans, our VA buyers, they can't pay commissions. What's going to happen with them? I honestly do not know yet. But they're not allowed to pay commissions, and they shouldn't. They're veterans.
Yeah, they should get excused from paying that.
Yeah. So I don't know what'll happen, but that was the big shakeup in our industry this week. So we'll see what happens.
Well,
that's it.
Thanks for coming on, Jen. I might have to bring you back for like round 2 someday. Or
with margaritas, right?
Or Joe, you and Joe together.
We could bring some of my team in.
That would be.
They're fun too.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how many I could fit in here.
Or we could do this at my pool.
That would be.
You know, my pool.
She has a dick pool.
That, I do not. And I'm not hiring for the Cracker Barrel either. I am so sick of people posting that on Facebook. Mike Devine, Rick Vigno. Who else? Who else is tagging me in that? Jim McBride. Stop it. I'm not hiring for the Cracker Barrel.
What the hell is...
They started a rumor that there was a Cracker Barrel coming to Plum. So now and they said that I was hiring for it. So now I have all these people in my DMs wanting to apply for jobs at Cracker Barrel. That's not even coming here. It's not funny.
I'm laughing.
Justin Newman too. He's another one. Stop it. Leave me alone. Wait, I got to show you some of the applicants though. Woof.
Eesh. Plum community page on Facebook is a hoot.
It's really funny.
It is a hoot.
It's just a disaster.
It's
fun. It's fun to read some of that stuff. Oh my God. And
all
people believe it.
No Cracker Barrel.
No Cracker Barrel's coming. Miami Subs is coming though. No, I'm just kidding.
No, is it though? No. Damn it. That was one of my favorite childhood memories.
I know. And look, Wendy's is closed now, so we could go right back in there.
In the same spot it
Joe
left.
worked there.
Did he really?
Yeah. Yeah, he worked there for a long time.
I had the best gyros. Heroes, whatever.
The best gyros. I love.
And the curly fries there.
I don't remember the fries, but I remember the gyros.
So good.
Yeah.
Funny gyro story. I was a teenager. I detailed cars in the summer. So I was starving when I got home. I stopped at Miami Subs, got 2 gyros, put them on my kitchen counter, got a shower. All I wanted to do is eat 2 gyros.
Oh, the dogs.
My dog,
oh,
may she rest in peace, Tara, got on the counter and ate both gyros. All that was left was the foil on the floor.
Oh my gosh.
That was probably one of the most...
Did she get sick?
I don't know. I hope so. No, I'm just kidding. I would never wish that on him.
Wait, is that why she's dead?
No, she didn't die from gyro overdose.
Oh.
That would be a story. But yeah, so that's my fondest memory of Miami Subs gyros.
I wonder if Joe made those gyros. He might have.
I don't know. I don't know if they were good or bad. My dog could tell you, though. Anyways, all right, Jen.
This was fun.
Yeah, I'm glad you came.
Let's do this again.
You have a very busy schedule, so for you to slate out this time, I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it was fun. We'll do it
I've
again.
been looking forward to it.
Margaritas and mussels.
Mussels and margaritas.
Let's do it.
All right, Jen. Thanks again.
Thank you.
All right, and I will see you on the next episode of Barbells and Bourbon. Peace. Ta-da!
Ta-da!